Hey everyone, I'm just gonna put a pinned comment for my contact just in case you guys have questions for me later on in the day afterwards. Okay, there it is, it's pinned. Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day. This is Johanna here and my nail count is at nail.artisan. So today we're going to be talking about the Bandy basic line, and if you've been interested in working with the Bandy products, this will surely aid you in getting to know the brand a little bit better and how it's meant to be applied, because it's a bit specific. Just gonna wait a quick little second to make sure I have everything in place. Okay, and so today's live will also include a little bit of a demonstration. I've removed my own nails so I could show you how properly to apply these products. We're going to start off with the fact that they have two main basic lines. We've got their basic, and then they've got their premium bioresin gel line. And so starting off with that, we have the prep bonder, which Bandy actually says is not necessary to use with either of their default product lines, but it is a step towards better adhesion if you so desire. And there's a very particular way in using this. You can't use too much, and so I'll show you that in a moment. And so this over here, you can probably tell by just the bottle design itself. We've got white base gel, we've got the black top gel, and we've got the wipe overlay gel. These ones here make up the basic Bandy gel line. I'm pretty sure we call it Bandy gel. The Bandy base gel, Bandy top gel, wipe overlay gel. And these ones here is best for, your gel manicure type of service, when you need a quick service to do the job, and if you are going in with relatively nails this long or shorter. I wouldn't recommend this particular line just to do overlays that are longer than this length. So mainly the gel polish line. And then we've got the premium bioresin formula. You can tell it's a little bit more premium with its bottle design. We've got the speckled pattern here. We've got golden handles. So this will just visually help you kind of discern which products you're using, because at a glance, it's just kind of oh my gosh, it's just a sea of polished bottles. What am I grabbing and whatnot? And so that is how they kind of differentiated their products visually. Their bottle design is ergonomically meant to be comfortable to hold in your palm while you're working on your client. And you grab their finger, just working on them as so, and it just fits really nicely in there, snug. And the handles are kind of, they're inspired by sculptures. So that little notch in here is actually it's quite nice to secure your handle on those. So I personally really love the Bandy bottle design. Very sleek, fits perfectly, so comfortable. So the normal line is good if you work on acrylic or polygel. If you work on natural nails, only resin gels is better. I would agree. So Bandy is all about nail care health, and their formulas are generally very, very clean in terms of pure ingredients for as much as they possibly could, especially with their nail polish line Curex. That nail polish line is 85% natural ingredients, as much as they could be. So for the Bandy regular line, yes, I do say these are good to fill also, especially if there's not complete contact with your natural nail. However, what I meant by that is if you remove the previous gel or previous manicure, you still have some hard gel or soft gel left, yes, you can go in your base and then continue on. The bioresin base gel line is great for your natural nail if you want to keep on the nourishment of your natural nail, because this formula here is all including B-panthenol, and that one is an ingredient that is how should I say, it kind of reinforces and protects your natural nails. Like, if you give me just a quick second, the B-panthenol is kind of like a conditioning ingredient. It reduces the nail brittleness when you get to use it repetitively under your gels. And so it's promoted as a protective strengthening additive in the bioresin line. Okay, comment saying it can also use on natural nails. Yes, just resin is more stronger and less scratches. Yes, that's the reason why it is called resin. Okay, so to get started, I am going to show you with the primer. Actually, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We are going to start with the Gel Fresh Starter. And so with Bandy, this one is really great for your nails if you're really nail health conscious about that, because compared to like 99% alcohol, the Gel Fresh Starter will remove all the impurities and moisture from your nail, but what it also does is pH balances your nail. And so the way you want to use this is press firmly against the surface of the nail as you clean it off. Okay, and so the Gel Fresh Starter, pH balance, moisture removing, cleans off impurities. And just let that dry. With the pH bonder, it's been recommended that it's not used on the whole entire nail, just the perimeter of your nail, and you want to make sure you really desaturate the brush of all excess. If you were to use too much primer, just around the perimeter of your nail, that's all you really need. If you use too much, your base coat will start to shrink, and your gel manicure will lift. And so you only need a little bit around the perimeter, and it's not even necessary with the Bandy, the whole Bandy product line. And so the differences in viscosities between the two base gels, the basic one and the premium line, is that the base gel is a little bit more viscous. Base gel from the premium line, all of these are a little bit less viscous, thinner viscosity. And so all in all, you would get a thinner manicure using just this line. I'll show them both. Whereas this one is thinner. Once again, just a little bit more medium. This one is thinner. Okay, and what's common with both the base gels is that these gotta be scrubbed into your nail plate. Right, so I'll get a little bit on my brush first. Let's see if I can get over there. I'll just get some onto the nail. If you were to just apply it as so and just like do the tiniest rub, it won't adhere so well. You've really got to scrub it in as you work down the nail. And that's not to say you scrub it in and that's it. You cannot leave it too thin either. So we are going to go back into the bottle, grab a little bit more, so that once I've already scrubbed it in, I can just go in, get an even layer across the nail, and go in for my cure. And so the Bandy gels are only 30 seconds cure in an LED only lamp. Okay, if you have a UV LED lamp, you've got to cure it for 60 seconds. But if you have the Bandy, any of the Bandy LED lamps, 30 seconds is good. So it does a great job at leveling out and smoothing out the nail. And before I cure that, I'm gonna do the same thing, but with the bio line. So go back to step 1, little bit of bonder, only around the perimeter of the nail. Okay, and then this one is the bioresin base gel. Just to show you. We're gonna scrub that in, really scrub it in there with as much pressure as you can with the brush before you level out the rest of the layer, the rest of the coat. Okay, and like that. If you want, for more longevity, I'm gonna cap the free edge. And I'm gonna go in for my cure, and I'm gonna check the chat if there's any questions. Okay, so there's no questions. So another thing that you're gonna notice is that there is a Vita base gel. This one here is kind of like the nourishing part of the whole premium line. And so this has to be paired with the bio base gel, these two together. It cannot be used on its own. And the way you're gonna apply this one on the nail here is only in the center of your nail. Okay, so like so, it is just leaving the perimeter. You are just gonna put it on the inside here. We're gonna really scrub it in, and we just need a thin layer of that. And this goes directly on the natural nail. There's no point on using this if you're only doing a fill and you have soft gel on your nails. It is just for the center here. And it is a gel, so it does need to be cured, but this one is full of keratin, vitamin E, and that is supposed to support the surface strength and, you know, the nail plate health. And this is what is the basic, like, secret ingredient inside this product line. This needs to be paired with the base gel after this is cured for 30 seconds in the LED lamp, or the 60 seconds UV LED lamp. You paint the whole nail with your base gel, and that kind of just anchors it. When it comes to removal, and let's say your client comes back 4 weeks later, it's time for removal, and you do a soak off, the fact that you have the Vita base gel in the center of the nail will help with the soak off be a whole lot faster. So I'm gonna cure this. And I did see a question a little bit earlier. Let me see. Ooh, I've always wanted to try Bandy, but alas, I live in the US. What's your favorite thing about this brand's formula? Yes. Okay, so Bandy, we can only distribute Bandy to Canadian residents at the moment. There's Nail Mart USA, who is the distributor for Bandy for the States. She is also super wonderful. and knows a lot about nail health as well. The thing about Bandy is just like what I like the most about them is their attention to nail health. And so oftentimes the nail techs that use Bandy, their way of prepping the nail or like going for their fills and whatnot is always remove to a thin layer, do a full soak off to do a fresh manicure. But the whole removal process is that they have a gel remover that, unlike acetone, what it does is it keeps the necessary moisture around the skin and just targets the gel formula that they've curated their entire product line to just target the gel itself and leave the health around your nails like intact. And on top of that, they also have a bunch of serums that are great for nourishing your skin and your nail plate after the fact of a soak off, etc., etc. So that is what I love the most about Bandy, plus the bottle design. Bandy does have a distributor in the US. It's nailmart.usa. From what I know, they have all of Bandy's products as well, and their lamps. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is all cured now. So I'm gonna go in with the base gel here, the bio base gel, to secure my Vita base gel. We'll go over that and scrub in for the remainder of the nail plate that isn't covered with a base coat at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna do a nice even, not too thin, not too thick. But if it's too thin of a base coat, it will not really adhere or cure right or last long. So keep that in mind. Always go for an even coat. And I'll cut the free edge. All right. And I've got to cure that again. Okay, dokie. And so what I also want to talk about is these three gels here. And where is the other one? This one. These three guys. These are all overlay gels. Sorry, I'll bring this as well. And the main thing with the overlay gel, the overlay fixed gel, and the gel liner is that these are all non-wipe. You could say they're all the same in a way. They're like same but different, you know, kind of like different viscosities is what they technically are. The overlay fixed gel is the thickest viscosity. This is a hard gel actually, and so this is great for extensions. It is great for embo art when you want the gel to kind of stay in place. This one is the builder in a bottle, but it's non-wipe. So this is a great final step in a manicure if you want to encapsulate your art and not bulk it up any additionally. And then the gel liner, it is kind of like the thick viscosity. This is meant for, you know, like 3D art or encapsulating your charms or gems. So this is the intention with the gel liner. Sometimes when you get down to the bottom of this bottle, it gets a little bit difficult to get, especially because the brush is so, there's not a lot of substance to the liner brush, right? It's so gentle, and so it might not be strong enough to really wick up the remainder of the gel in there. What ends up happening is that it's best recommended to grab a spatula, a thin stirrer, like stirring spatula like this, to get in there to get the last bit of gel, and also to warm it up a little bit. especially if it's cold, it's definitely going to get a little bit harder to pick up any when it gets to the bottom of the bottle. So that's the gel liner. Your main 3 bottles to grab will be the overlay gel non-wipe, the wipe overlay gel, or the overlay fix gel, which is a hard gel. This one has to be filed off. File off only. The rest can soak off. Okay, and so for the wipe overlay gel, we are going to use this on the middle finger that I only have the basic line on. I'll show you the viscosities of these. Okay, overlay gel, a little bit thinner. And then the wipe overlay gel, slightly thicker. So they'll self-level pretty quickly. They like to say this is like the all-purpose overlay gel that they have in their line. So I'm just gonna get in there. I had a habit of just scrubbing everything into my nail anyways, even if the layer is thin. You got your slip layer. Grab a little bit more of a bead to do an overlay. I would say it's a little bit on the lower end of viscosity. Personally, I do like working with lower viscosity builder in a bottles. And I will always walk it down the sides with a little liner brush. Oh, I'm out of frame. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so we've got a light overlay going on. We always got to flip it upside down to make sure we get a nice apex, and pull all the bulk away from the edge of your nail. Well, the tip of your nail. Just give it a second upside down. And then with my ring light is telling the surface is very smooth, very quick to level out also. Okay, around the cuticle. And even now, it's staying in place pretty well. I'm just gonna give it another second upside down before I go in for a cure. Just gonna grab my pink cure lamp and give that a quick flash cure. Okay, I'm holding this flash cure lamp, and if anyone has this, they know how spicy a pink cure is, especially at a flash cure. Guys, I don't feel a single heat spike, nothing. And actually, another thing about the Bandy lamps also is that they have temperature control and a vent system, so that it really, tempers the chance of a heat spike whenever you're doing your clients' nails. I don't have one myself, they're a bit expensive, but they are a great investment. And I'm just waiting for my lamps to die before I can, upgrade, but it's a great one to look into. Okay, and there we go. This is the overlay. They're all purpose full wipe overlay gel from the basic line. And this one, as you can see, it is wipe. So from here, you go straight in with your color and you top coat. You can interchangeably use this with their bioresin line as well. And now with the wipe overlay gel, we're gonna do the next finger. Okay, we're gonna do nice scrubbed in slip layer, real thin. Honestly, it's already like all self-leveled here, not having to do much, but from the side profile could be a little smoother. So I'm gonna do upside down, tap a little bit away from the very edge of my free edge towards the center, make sure it's towards the apex. Just like that. Yeah, Bandy really self-levels really quick. Very easy system and not a single heat spike. So one more second because I kept it uncured for a while. So I am going to flip that upside down and go in for a quick flash cure. And I'm gonna cure this properly. Bandy lamp is the best. Yes, the Bandy lamp is the best. It's so, how should I even say? It's so sleek. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like pink, it's white, it's gold, like a rustic gold. Okie dokie. Okay. Alright, so those are the two overlay gels at play. I'm going to open up this overlay fix gel, show you guys what it's like. It'll come with this top stopper, but like I'm happy that it stayed up there because like I personally hate having to take it back out. So the spatula, just going to make sure I clean it real quick. Okay, so this is the viscosity of the hard gel. Is relatively thin, but definitely thicker than the rest. And so far, I've been really enjoying using this as like an embo gel in doing some nail art. So for example, this little pochaco here. This little pochaco here was made using this overlay fix gel and Bandy's Extreme Gel painting line. And so what it does is combined with their extreme painting line, it has such incredible pigment with just a little bit of polish, so your entire formula still remains very non-wipe, especially once you give it its final wipe. Let me see if I can see where I put some extreme painting. Off to the side here. Okay, so there's about 6 of them. Here's the extreme painting gin black. It comes with like a little bit of an angled brush. Its main thing was for, I think, French designs and stuff, but I will just show you something real quick. The pigment in this black. And just a single stroke. So a little tiny bit of that mixed with your hard gel to get some embo art going on will keep it non-white, because even if I remove this from the palette right now, yo, that's it. Like what I had on the palette, this is all that came off. Like I would expect like a big glob of black or something, but that's all And so it's a lot of pigment. You can use a very thin layer with it, and then you're good to go. This one here, use it for extensions. And once again, because it's a hard gel, you cannot soak this one off. It has to be a full removal by being drilled or filed off. But the good thing is you just go until your base coat, and then you can do a safe soak off because the base coat is soak offable. Okay, let's see. We could go straight into top gel. Okay, top gel. Okay, so the difference between the wipe top gel and the non-wipe top gel is the wipe top gel advertises that it has crystal clear shine and higher viscosity. Therefore, it has like a higher smoothing capabilities compared to the bio non-wipe. And it has a better shine retention compared to the non-wipe top gel. But as a nail technician, you kind of weigh your options to see which is the best fit. And, whether you care more for convenience or if your client is going to be way longer than your usual fill, like perhaps you'll grab the wipe top gel. The main difference is that no matter what, the wipe top gel is cured for only 30 seconds and you have to wipe off the inhibition layer. Okay, and then what also is common amongst all three of them, the default top gel, non-wipe top gel, and the bio wipe top gel, is that if you use any foreign brand for color, you have to wipe out that color's inhibition layer before you go in with the bio, any of the Bandy top gels for, keeping the formula uncontaminated. That's the word. Okay, so let's say I just use a Izemi color on top. I have to wipe off my Izemi inhibition layer before I want to complete it off with my Bandy. If you want to stay within the Bandy line. Or I could end up just using an Izemi top coat if that's the case. But that being said, if you're using a Bandy color like so, you're safe. Where can you get this for USA? There is Bandy, nails.usa, and there's also nailmart.usa. Those would be the two. nailmart.usa. Okay, that should be in the chat over there. Okay, so where was I? The wipe top gel, 30 seconds only. And then you wipe off the inhibition layer. That being said, if you're doing a full set, the wipe top gel, that means doing one nail, curing it for 30 seconds, wiping it very thoroughly, and then topping the next nail. All right, you cannot just apply, cure, because that inhibition layer is going to be cured and fog up the shine when it goes in for the subsequent cure. Sometimes people just don't want to deal with that, understandably, and so they'll just go for the non-wipe, and then you're good to go. So all of these top coats, honestly, are non-yellowing, and with the whole scenario right now with TPO, Bandy is not TPO free, at least not yet. I feel like their research and development team will get on that because all brands right now are future-proofing their formulas so that like all nail techs have accessibility to use their products. But as of the moment, they are not TPO free. They are vegan and cruelty free, but they are not, TPO free. HEMA free, yes, but their main ingredient for the acrylic mono thing is that they are dihema. Yeah. So cruelty free, vegan certified. This is the BANDI brand. Okay, so I just got confirmation in the comments that they are working on a TPO free version, so I would look out for that, which is great. TPO is nothing to be really scared about, so they're just being extra cautious in Europe right now. So with the top gel, let's go on with this. And like I said, the bioresin line is a lot less viscous compared to the default line. So you'll find that with this black bottle top gel one, it's a bit of a thicker viscosity compared to the others. Okay, no shrinkage. Covered it nicely. That's the white top coat. And I'll do this for only 30 seconds. Just going in for a cure. Are there certain things you guys have questions about in regards to BANDI? Okay. So 30 seconds of a cure for this top coat. This is the wipe top. Gonna wipe it clean. Okay, nice and shiny. You know, I think I'm gonna try curing it for 60 seconds, show you guys what will happen, or curing it twice. Okay. So this is our second example of putting it on and doing the system incorrectly. Got a little... Oh, that's not going away. Oh, it did. Okay. All right, well, that's good enough for me. Top coat, we're gonna cure it twice. So I'm gonna cure it 30 seconds, take it out, cure it again for 30 seconds without wiping it, and see what happens. Okay, so I've got a question here. Any favorites? So far, I enjoy the non-wipe bio top gel. Yeah, the non-wipe bio top gel. Honestly, I absolutely love BANDI. And what I have off to the side here is their skin tint gels. These are so amazing. Like, they're a base coat. They're like a rubber base. What people end up not realizing is that, like, after doing your perimeter of your prep bonder or whatnot, you can go in with this straight away, scrub it into your nail like I showed you, and then what you're gonna do is an even coat of this. You can even go ahead to directly add a little bit more volume to, you know, like even out the nail, kind of like an overlay, a very, very light overlay. And once you're done, you have your color and you're ready for your designs or whatnot. You know, just like any other rubber-based system. And so they just have like a wonderful variety of colors that are... They've got like 3 collections of the skin tint gels. And so there's bound to be one that would, you know, like be your favorite to grab. So my personal favorites is the Cover Peach and Cover Coral. These two. They're so natural. Okie dokie. I had another question. I know I saw it, so let me just see. Hi, I just joined. What does the BANDI Prep Bonder do? So the Prep Bonder is kind of like any other gel systems primer, bonder. It's like extra adhesion from the natural nail plate and your base coat with the system in here. All of Bandi's gels don't require the Prep Bonder. This is only something you need if you yourself want longer and stronger retention. And if you use too much of this, your base coat will not stick. Like, if your nail is overly saturated with Prep Bonder, once you go in with your base coat, it's going to start to peel away and shrink around the corners, and your manicure will not last like that. And so the way they recommend you apply this is that you got to really take out all the excess from the brush. You're going to use really, really little. And then you just go around the perimeter of your nail. Okay, so just around the cuticle. Make sure not to touch the skin. Okay, down the sidewalls. And then just your free edge. And you're good. Let that dry completely before you go in with your base coat. Should be good after the fact that you've done all 10 nails the same way, and then you should be good with your base coat. Okay, very good question. Okie dokie. So I believe I am going to cure this for a little bit longer. I have to see what that middle finger is like after wiping away that inhibition. Okay, so experiment. I just did the wipe top on my middle finger. Okay, we did one coat, cured it for 30 seconds as instructed, and then I put it in again without wiping the inhibition layer. So let's see if it goes foggy or cloudy after the fact. Okay, well, it's still shiny, but I do remember me pulling out my hand this one time. It was foggy, so this is a good surprise. Not bad at all. But in person, I actually do notice a little bit of a difference in its radiance, except the camera's not really picking up on it too well. Anyways, I'm just gonna, I know I put a base coat on this, but I'm gonna show you the Color Skin gel here. Up close first. This one here, I'd say it has a nice flexible type of formula. Okay, I'll do it from my ring finger. It has pretty great natural coverage. So just gonna get on a slip layer first, nice and thin. So as if I didn't have a base coat on here already, you would scrub it into your nail plate like so, like with pressure. Grab more gel before you start to level out your nail. Okay, I focus my product only on the center because then when it flows down to the sides, I don't end up overflowing. It gives me time to control where I want the gel with my brush. And with the ring light, it's really helpful when I get to know there's like a little uneven area of which the gel has flowed to. That's what's really useful about like circular sort of like light sources. Okay, and I see that there's this bulge at the tip. Not really the biggest fan of that. I'm going to flip my nail over so that it can kind of get away from the edge. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Nice and smooth, nice and leveled. This is the coverage you would get with the light overlay, with the color skin tint. And as you can see, it's not really running down to the sides or nothing. I've been like this for a while, so you don't have to worry about it really flooding the gates, unless, you know, you've given a reason to and you actually slipped into your cuticle by accident. But like when you don't, it stays within a slip layer pretty well. So flip it just one more time, because of course it did level when I turned it this way. So, and again, all of Bandi's gels are 30 seconds in an LED lamp or 60 seconds in a hybrid UV LED lamp. Okay, so this one is it, and I'm gonna cure. I do have to say, compared to the overlay gels, the skin tint does cause a little bit more heating than the overlays do. So I would be just a little bit cautious on that. Perhaps give it a little bit of a flash cure with a lamp before going in to the actual lamp to fully cure it. Just so you can dissipate the heat a little bit for your client. Got some gel on my glove. Just gonna wipe that off so everything else I touch is not sticky. Okay. And so with that, I am going to show the top gel to cure and finish up this ring finger. And so this top gel has an inhibition layer. It's suitable for chrome after you wipe off that inhibition layer. Actually, I hope I'm not mistaken. Maybe this is non-wipe. Okie dokie. Knock out the free edge for that. Just a tad bit caught my cuticle here. So you got a little blip at the tip there. I'm just gonna fix that first and then I will cure. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going into cure and we'll compare the tops. The base color is so pretty. Yeah, so I used the Covered Peach. Another one I like to use is this one here. It's the light pink #2. These are all from the first collection, 2, 4, and 7. I believe it's just called Color Skin, and then the other 2 series is called like the Nudie collection and the Contour collection. So you've got a lot to choose from. 20 shades. Yeah, there are 20 shades of the Color Skin series. There's a lot more people that are joining right now. Hi and welcome. We're actually nearing the end of the live, but the live will be saved, and if you have any further questions that haven't been addressed, then you can always message me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay, so this is actually non-wipe. That's my bad. So it's non-wipe, just like that. And these are all soft top gels. And the way you can tell is that there will be a little bit of a drag when you touch them after curing. So that is really good with, like being flexible with your nail, especially as your manicures on a natural nail. As they grow, they will start to shrink and like bend and whatnot. So a top coat that is a soft top coat is much better for those type of manicures. Okie dokie. Let me see if I might have missed anything else. Yeah, okay. So I'd like to just reiterate one more time that the premium bio resin collection, this one over here, these two have to be applied together, the Vita base gel plus the base gel, bio base gel. Oftentimes when you have this can be used as an additional like service upgrade. So you could charge more premium service when this is added in. And when you go for refills of this type of service, like if I'm a client and I ask for the Bio Vita base gel service and you guys use this, when I come in for my next Bio Vita base gel service, it will require a full removal. And by doing that, you would just have to break the surface, and if it's just a gel polish manicure, break the surface and soak it off. But if it's a soft gel overlay, you've got to remove to a thin layer and soak the rest off. The great thing about it is that because you've paired these together, your soak off could likely cut down from 15 minutes to like 10 or 8 minutes using these two together. If you were to just do the generic default line, the top gel, the base gel, the white bottle, the Bandy base gel, and the overlay for like a gel manicure and whatnot, then this will be likely 10 to 15 minutes of a soak off to completely get remove everything. I've also learned that in Korea, oftentimes the whole service procedure that they do over there is mainly soak off removals, and that they're starting to get more familiar with drilling for removal. So that's why right now this is a top brand in Korea, because it really enhances your entire like removal process and nail health in the process of that. People say it's really damaging on the natural nail, but like for nail prep, Bandy says you only need to use a 240 grit to prep the surface of the nail. And 240 is very, very, this isn't even 240. This one here is like 180. Yeah. Of a buffer. I use 180 on the natural nail here, but they're saying 240 to prep your nail and use a little bit of bonder if you want, and that's it. So they're really nail health conscious over there about like with this formula here. So that's one thing to take into consideration as well, is just your workflow as a nail technician, or as someone who would do nails at home by themselves, right? Like this would be an easy soak off if I had to take it off again. Yeah. there we go. And so I'd say that would come to the conclusion of our IG Live for Bandy. We went through the basics, we went through the Premium Bio gel line, and the main difference of their overlay gels here. Like I said, the main thing between these guys is mainly their viscosity and the fact that this is a hard gel, but they're all non-wipe. And one way you can tell the lines apart is through the gold handles in their bottles and what you could use together, basically. With silver being an exception, because it's their, you know, like all one and done, all good, all-rounder overlay gel. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. I'm just gonna hold some bottles so I can get a good a good thumbnail for this IG Live, and then I'm gonna end this. So you guys have an awesome weekend up ahead. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next live. Okay, I'm just gonna, I should probably grab these. Yeah, okay, I think this will be a good thumbnail. Okay, awesome. Bye, everyone.